Good morning, fellow Commander fans. How y'all doing today? So, this is your boy Ricardo, aka the District of Ricardo. Um, just coming back at y'all real quick. Like I said, I'm gonna do these quick videos. So here we go. Just my quick rundown of the preseason game that we had versus the Detroit Lions in Detroit. And I'm not as I'm not as concerned with the whole win loss when it comes to preseason. I'm more concerned with, you know, how the players look. Do we have some diamonds in the rough? You know what I mean? Like hidden gems, stuff like that. So let's just jump right into it. So from the overall play, I definitely will say that I was very impressed by the first team defense. They were very stifling. The secondary looks much better, a lot faster, more reactive. Um, I will say that, I know guys like Payne and Tim Settle didn't play, but that run defense needs some addressing. And I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean, this coaching staff peeped that between last game and this game. So, work in progress. So I really like the defense. I'm not going to harp on the whole Sonny Styles thing because the kid he's got to learn. You know what I'm saying? So his processing in practice isn't going to be the same as his processing in a game because, you're a little bit more prepared in practice because you're practicing with these folks every day, so you kind of get a familiarity with tendencies and looks and stuff like that. So now that he's actually going out there and playing other teams, it's a little bit more murky. So now he's really gotta, you know what I'm saying? He's going to overthink a little bit and he's going to play a little slower, not as reactive, but it wasn't bad. You know what I mean? But other than that, I have no issues with the way the defense played, other than the whole run defense. Getting to the offense, oh man, I hate to diss people in such a way, but Sam Hartman, that project is over. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Um, Ethan Kaliakmanis has definitely proved that he's a solid quarterback 3 QB2 candidate. You know what I mean? I'm not going to crown him the best QB2, but at the end of the day, the kid has shown enough to say, hey, I don't even know if you want to risk putting him on the practice squad. Like I would put Sam Hartman on the practice squad and kind of have Kaliakmanis as my third quarterback. And it also depends on when Mariota is scheduled to make his return. I didn't really research that before I did this, but either way, I'm all on board with whatever they plan to do with Kaliakmanis, but I'd be a little bit worried about putting him on that practice squad because he has definitely shown some very good traits in each game that he played. Like the Dolphins game, he kind of walked into some sacks trying to climb in the pocket, work the pocket. This game, the pressure was on. Detroit was bringing the pressure, and he stood tall in the pocket and delivered some very good passes. So kudos to Kaliakmanis, AK-16. The run game was okay. I mean, it didn't really help that the offensive line was kind of getting manhandled, but the run game did okay. Allen wasn't bad. Henry was a little disappointing on that final where he fumbled, and mistakes will be made. They're learning. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm not. It would have been nice to see Kaliakmanis in that 2-minute offense and see how he handled that. But adversity strikes. It is what it is. But the run game wasn't too bad. Katron definitely is a keeper. The kid has yet to show that he's going to take negative yardage without fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage. And I mean, even when he does that, the dude still falls ahead of the stick. So it's all good. I'm not have no beef with the running game. Offensive line definitely needs some work. It's not so much that I don't like Brandon Coleman at left tackle. I'd say more so I would take him from that left tackle spot, move him to left guard, give Taylor Decker a call. Hey, we need a left tackle. We're in bad need of it. What's up? If you can get him signed, okay, he's your left tackle. You move Coleman to left guard. You got Cosme at right guard. You got Connerly at right tackle. I don't know why this good Jones guy is still, getting snaps or getting most of the reps. I'm going with my rookie, Matt Goldman. And you drafted him as a center, yet he was playing guard the other day. And I get you want to see his versatility. Put the kid at center and let him get the reps with the first teams, because whatever's going on with Allegretti, we got to be ready regardless. So I'm going to put a solid foundation around Goldman so that this kid can thrive at his position as center. We got to protect our quarterback this year. Like, that is priority number one. If Jaden can't stay upright, this team is doomed. So build the best offensive line you can while you can before somebody else goes and snatches these guys up. Now, if Taylor Decker just doesn't want to come here, that's a whole different situation. The urgency at center should have been in the offseason when they gave away Biotish. They cut him, but still gave away Biotish and then turned around, tried to get Linderbaum from the guy who was a free agent from Baltimore. He ended up going to the Raiders, and we were kind of left high and dry. And then that's when it was like, oh, we're going to run with Allegretti. Like, we know that wasn't your first option. But at the end of the day, like, you got to you should have made another move. Maybe there was no other move to make. Maybe guys just didn't want to come here. I don't know. I'm not in the front office. But at the end of the day, that's my move. Matt Goldman, Coleman back at left guard. Go try to get Taylor Decker to be your left tackle. That's about probably the best moves you can do, unless there's a trade out there that Adam Peters is looking at to get a better left tackle or a better left guard, or maybe even a center. But I'm going with the rookie that I drafted and giving him a shot with a solid foundation around him. Now, when it comes to the receiver room, we already know Terry, Diggs, probably McCaffrey and Lane are your locks. Like, you can say what you want about McCaffrey, but when he went down last season, he was actually getting on a roll. He was actually heating up, but he's also important in the kickoff game. So just walking away from him, you can say what you want about him as a receiver, but he proves his value. So I'm keeping McCaffrey. Now, as far as the depth chart behind them, I'm only going to speak on one receiver that has really been impressing me so far, and that's Jaden Bradley. I am strongly considering keeping Jaden Bradley over Burks. Go back and look at the kid's film. Off the line, well, first off, I didn't even know the kid was 6'4", 195 pounds. I thought the kid was like 6'1", maybe 205, something like that. This kid is 6'4". What do we always have an issue with when it comes to our receiver room? Size. I mean, we've always had these smaller receivers who tend to shine, but we've never had a receiver, over 6'1" that really, made an impact. And I feel like with some more development, this kid can make an impact. And if you watch his release off that line, to me, you may say it's too early, but to me, he shows traits. He kind of gives me those Devontae Adams vibes off that line. Like, it's very, very uncanny. But I like Jaden Bradley. Haven't seen much from the tight end room, but I will say that Cager was kind of a disappointment with those drops, because those seem like easy catches. Other than that, overall, we're not really going to know what this team really looks like till week one. I mean, you're working with basic play functions, vanilla, offense, vanilla defense. But I will say, with a vanilla defense, that first team was very stifling. And I like that. So that lets me know once they get in the playbook, Durante Jones is going to be in his bag. But they definitely got to address this offensive line. If you don't address this offensive line by week 1, you might as well just put JD on JD5 on injured reserve now, and go ahead and start prepping Durante Jones to be our next head coach. I mean, it's no other way to put it. Like, that offensive line is not as good as I would hope it would be. And I get that we lost Tunsil, but at the end of the day, you got to have next man up. You got to have a plan. People are going to get hurt. And not playing them in preseason isn't going to, you know what I'm saying, as you can see, save us from guys getting hurt. You don't want to see it happen, but that's just the way of the sport. You know what I mean? So, like I said, this was just a quick video, just a quick rundown from the preseason game the other day. Overall, I would say it wasn't a bad performance. I really like seeing that kid, Callie McManus, come in and run this offense. I think that kid is going to be a very good, high quality quarterback 2 in the league. And I feel like that's something we shouldn't lose. I feel like Jaden Bradley is a keeper. I feel like Tyler Owens and Percy Butler should make this team over the likes of Will Harris. Yeah, and that's just my opinion on things. I hope y'all enjoy this Monday. Have a great one. I'm on vacation, so I won't be delivering anybody's mail. I'm just going to enjoy myself. You know what I mean? But y'all have a good one. I'm going to probably sit down and watch some more stuff on this team and see what the talk around town is. And I'll holler at y'all later. Hail to the Commanders. Let's go.